Welcome everyone to What the Force, and welcome to our Bad Batch report, where we are covering all the episodes of the Bad Batch. I'm Marie-Claire Gould, your host, and with me is Kyle Gould.
Some guy she found on the street.
Was not in the street, it was definitely in a building.
Oh, okay.
We are going to be talking about episode 3, Replacements.
Yes.
Yes.
What a weird title.
I mean, on a surface level, it is entirely meta in its understanding to do with the replacements of bringing in recruits who are like, yes, we must serve this glorious empire to replace the clones.
Oh, okay. Or
Right?
it could just be we have to get a new capacitor.
Or, yes, we need to go get the capacitor.
All I thought of the entire time, though, was The Replacements, that amazing, great, groovy late 90s, early 2000s movie starring Keanu Reeves as a
And Gene
replacement.
Hackman? Yep.
No, just Keanu Reeves.
I mean, Gene Hackman was the coach that put the
Yes.
replacements together.
Yes.
And you know, saw the heart in in the team, in the character, in the main guy.
Exactly. Wasn't their kicker a girl?
No, the kicker was that British guy.
The British soccer guy.
who was the soccer guy. Yeah.
Right.
Who was also in Notting Hill as the weird
roommate.
semi-naked occasionally roommate.
Well, he wears really short shorts in The Replacements too,
Right.
so it kind of fits.
Yeah, I do not remember. Oh, wait. Wasn't Ashley Judd like the cheerleader in that?
Oh, I don't know. You mean like the romantic lead?
Yeah, and like the head cheerleader putting together the cheerleading.
I don't know. All I remember is they all get put into jail and they all sing a song together and it bonds them as a team.
Right, yeah.
And I love that song to this day now because of that moment.
What
in
song
the
was
movie.
it?
I don't.
No, I mean, I saw that it had a lot of heart for like a weird, like, hey, players are being locked out of their plane and they've decided to do an entire team of replacements.
It's true. But the song was I Will Survive by Gloria Gaynor.
Oh, okay. Fair.
Yes.
So you love that song now.
That is pretty much my principal reason for liking it. And it has a lot to do with Orlando Jones.
Okay.
Because he starts that whole song, right?
Right. Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean,
I watched
it is a
an-
big Keanu movie.
It's true. Welcome to Replacements Talk with Kyle and Marie-Claire. Did you know, bit of insight there. I listened to the director's commentary to that a long time ago, and they said Keanu Reeves was left-handed and was an instantly amazing quarterback and was able to replicate a majority of the plays that they wanted him to make and could throw a beautiful tight spiral wherever he was asked to throw it on the field. The guy was like, if he wasn't an actor, he would probably be playing college ball as the lead quarterback.
Wow.
I know, right? And he's left-handed, which made him like super lucrative to football because he would throw different plays at different angles that other teams would not be expecting to get the ball thrown from. Anyway, long story short, let's get back to the Bad Batch.
Keanu Reeves, great actor, all-around good human.
Absolutely.
Right? Immortal, most likely. And potentially had a career, missed opportunity, alternative universe version of himself that was a high school quarterback. Yep.
They've said the same thing about him. He's when he did The Matrix, they said he's physically gifted and talented. If he wanted to do martial arts, he could.
Like,
like it's not fair.
But that's kind of like your dad saying, like, you're so talented if you just put your mind to it.
Well, he's talented. He has a raw natural talent at everything he does.
That's kind of unfair. It also seems to be doubling down on the idea that he's actually an immortal.
I know, right? Like, he's already done those things. That's why he's so good at them.
It's why he's naturally good at all of these things. It's because he's had a career as a football quarterback in the past.
Yes. Well, how did we get here? We got here because I like the movie The Replacements, and the episode title for this one is called Replacements.
Exactly. Yeah. In general, so what are your overall thoughts of the episode?
Right. My overall thoughts. Well, this show is definitely taking a linear turn. And so you couldn't watch this out of order and really have a good understanding.
I was
of
happy
what's going
about that.
on. And I'm still on the fence about the whole thing. Last week was a shrug and an arched eyebrow. Maybe the eyebrow's a little less arched, but I'm kind of still shrugging about the purpose of this show. What is the message? What is the meaning? What do they want us to take away from this? How do we become better people from having understood and, imbibed and chomped down and chewed up and swallowed and digested this?
I mean, fundamentally, Star Wars always tries to say something about humanity or about family or about social systems or about, good versus bad, right? It has these larger messages in place. And certainly it seems to be telling the family, older brothers. I actually think it's more older brothers. Like they seem to be going in that direction more with this because there's like the care from all of them associated with Omega, and they're all going to kind of have their probably moments. I know we talked about Hunter being like dad, and a lot like everywhere on the internet is like, oh, it's dad badge. Like it's obvious that that's what they're going for, but I kind of like to view it as older brothers just because they're all like, she's part of the squad, right? In general, this episode did it for me a lot more than the first two. I don't know why. I actually felt like it was quite interesting, the back and forth, because I like that. I like the back and forth between Crosshair's story and the rest of the Bad Batch. I feel like that's a good thing that they're going to do throughout the season, probably. I liked everything they showed me, and I thought it was really deliciously put together. So
yeah,
my bar is my bar for Star Wars is like pretty minimal, right? Just tell me a good story and tell it well, right? And don't like contradict the fundamental themes of Star Wars. I like to have it, especially in new and interesting ways, in ways that challenge me intellectually. But that's my like, you really passed my bar and you met my like, all expectations. And that's like just not realistic for a show that is 3 episodes in.
Yeah. There are some themes and some things that are niggling in the background that when they start to come to full bear, when they are present more vocally in the show, maybe I will be more engaged in what's going on.
What examples of themes? Like
sure.
That? Yeah.
Project War Mantle.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I would like to know more about that. Yes, please. I know that that's coming and I can speak to that.
It was one of the projects that was listed, rattled off in Rogue One. Not that everybody would know that.
Exactly.
But tons of people were talking about it today.
Loyalty from willing enlistment.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That is also a big thing that I'm interested in their exploration there too as well. Basically, I'm more interested in the bigger picture pieces than necessarily whatever's happening with Clone Force 99.
Like the big meta story of what's happening with right, like the nuts and bolts of the Empire. How does this all work?
I mean, I'm kind of interested in that, but we all know where it goes and how it gets, what it gets to. Like we already know those pieces and how they come to fruition. I'm kind of interested in what are they telling us and how is it relevant to today? Because I think that was relevant. Lucas himself interjected so much of relevant today's media, today's news, and the things that were important or of the day when he did The Phantom Menace. When the prequels came out, they spoke a great deal about modern day politics and modern day theatricality.
Yeah. Well, even the original trilogy, was a commentary on the Vietnam War and also fascism in general. And it's just really interesting when people are like, don't bring politics into Star Wars. Well, it's always kind of been about that. And it's always tried to be a lens to reality, or at least saying a particular reflection of what we are dealing with in society.
Yep. Yeah. Art reflects life. And therefore, when we ingest art, it should give us another opportunity to look at our own lives from a different perspective. And Bad Batch isn't doing that just yet. It's starting to plant seeds of it.
Oh, yeah.
I think there's something lurking underneath, but we're caught up in this Omega, Clone Force 99, where do they go now story.
I mean, I would say it's very similar to how long it took Rebels to get established.
Yeah, maybe.
And I think it wants you to live with the characters for a little while.
Maybe.
The quickest turnaround I've seen is in Resistance, where they got into like the meta plot like in less than 3-4 episodes.
That's fair.
So, I mean, if by like episode 6 or 7, halfway through the season, we're not anywhere near kind of feeling like, okay, this is the path that they're at least going on for this season, then yeah, fair commentary. But they're still trying to establish characters and what things are all about. And they had to spend a significant amount of time this episode with Crosshair to be like, okay, where he's at, what's going on, what is he all about?
But did they? Because we got this introduction already in the Clone Wars before the Bad Batch. We know who these guys are.
But
we know the basic.
People might be picking up this show without ever watching the Clone Wars.
Fair. Then why give me the end of Clone Wars? Why bother with that? You should have just saved it for the Bad Batch.
Just had that be the first 4 episodes.
Exactly.
Interesting. Yeah. I don't know. The choices were made. We can only judge them for the choices they've made.
Because I'm not getting character development. It doesn't feel like over much from at least half our party so far. Echo and Tech have had 0 character development, and there's been a considerable amount of time on screen.
True. Yeah, they really haven't had a lot going on. And that's been our commentary the whole time, is how Echo and Tech are kind of treated.
Yep.
We've seen a lot from Wrecker. We've seen a lot from Hunter. We've seen tons from Omega. And now Crosshair. Yeah. But Echo and Tech are kind of...
And Hunter isn't really growing, just adjusting. And Wrecker is still Wrecker, and it just has a new character to interact with.
Yeah.
So Crosshair is the only one who's had some major...
things happen. Yeah.
Life things happen. And well, let's get into it.
Sure. So we start out and we're having problems in space. Generic problems in space. Like, I was surprised at this entrance because, like you said, I was like, oh, they'll just get out of there and then they'll go somewhere else. It's literally like back to back. Like they escaped and now they're having problems in space.
Yes.
That's even rare for what they did in Rebels and Resistance. This is more leaning into the idea that this is going to be continuous storytelling.
Yeah, this isn't A-Team episodes.
Yeah.
Which is what I kind of thought we were going to get.
I thought so too. Yeah. Or like Miraculous Ladybug, or even some of the other shows out there, like even the Clone Wars, where you can kind of like pick up anything except for the episode arcs that you have to kind of watch together. Right. But yeah,
it's 17 scenes, just to let you know.
Oh, okay. Good.
Intercut. Some of those scenes might technically have been shorter if they hadn't just cut back and forth so quickly between the two storylines at one point. So we essentially have 2 different stories that are going on. We've got Kamino and we've got Clone Force 99.
Yep.
Things that are happening at Kamino are building. And that was the storyline I was much more invested and interested in this go round.
Yeah.
Because it had more movement. There was more happening there than there was with guys trapped on an asteroid.
Yeah, like they land, they get there and they're like, okay, we got to fix the thing. They fix the thing. And then suddenly, oh, danger, nature versus man.
Yep.
Like, yeah, it was all kind of standard fare what the clones experienced on the asteroid with the, oh my god, the coolest thing in existence, the Ordo
Moon Dragon.
I love him. Mm-hmm. I want one. Give me a stuffy. Thank you. He looked weird and cool. And I was like...
I don't like that he had like 4 lips. His mouth opened on the sides as well.
No, he's very horror story. And they played it.
And also he had these like long, sharp teeth.
Yeah.
What for if he's an energy sucker?
Those are just the things that he, connects to the power with, I assume.
Yeah. I loved when he devoured, or she.
Yeah, we used to
devour
the
flashlight. You saw the energy course through the creature.
I loved that animation that like, and it was like the spots on the dragon were like, blah.
Or, like our Dyson hand vac upstairs charging.
Yeah.
Literally like.
Yeah, you can see the 3 dots like.
Yeah. He's pretty low on juice. That's why he's so
cranky,
ravenous.
Yeah. I've been like that in the past as well. It would have been interesting if they had found like a way to give him them something rather than like, we've got to get our thing back. I mean, I was looking for a different sort of solution. I think that they thought when they were writing this that Omega going down the tunnels and solving all the problem was the different solution. But to me, like a lot of people have been talking about, Omega is just that character in any sort of Lego Star Wars game that you want that's half-sized so they can crawl through all the little tunnels.
Oh, that's adorable.
And that's exactly like how I view her now. I'm like, oh, it's just like the kid that can go through all the tunnels. Or like in the West End Games RPG, you play the kid template and the kid can get into places because they're smaller and they have those bonuses to being able to sneak into places.
Yeah, how many times have we gone to Will and been like, Will, something fell in the couch, pull it out. Or
yeah, go behind the couch and get that.
Stuck in that crack. Use your little fingers and go get the thing for me. Yes. That's legit.
Yeah.
So there's two storylines happening.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the Clone Force 99
back
story.
To useful stuff. Okay. Yeah. Clone Force 99 story. Let's just cover it. So, there's hey, we have this thing happen on the ship. They have to try and fix it. They're not very good at fixing it. Hunter and Omega go off while Tech and Echo are trying to fix stuff, and Wrecker's trying to fix stuff.
Now, Wrecker's not fixing anything.
No.
Wrecker's head hurts.
Right. I think that's his chip, personally.
Do you think it was his chip, or was he just... his head wasn't hurting at all and he just wanted time while other people were doing stuff?
Like to go and make up Omega her bedroom?
Exactly.
I think so...
because it seemed like where he dramatic overacting.
So either it was a red herring, right? Because of where he was holding his head. Like if it wasn't meant to intimate that it was the chip, he wouldn't have been holding his head in that spot because that's where the chip is.
Maybe.
Right? They would have animated it differently to be like, oh, okay, it's either a red herring or it's meant to say it is the chip.
I think he was lying the whole time because he didn't do anything other than make her
the
bed.
Writers were like, oh, let's make sure he's doing it that way because people experience headaches in different ways. They'd be like, both sides of my head, or holding the bridge of your nose, or like rubbing your temple. But he held it like right over where the chip is. So that's where I think the writers were either playing us to say, ooh, mystery, or... and again, it was nothing. He was just pretending.
Exactly.
Or it was meant to be the chip. That doesn't help us solve the problem.
Well, it's already resolved. I mean, you can conjecture that the chip had something to do with it.
Well,
but
okay, so
he then did not rest or do anything while not off the ship. Like,
fair.
They left and he's like, oh, goody. And then he went off and did his thing.
Yeah.
He spent a lot of time on that.
The only way we'll know is if it comes up again.
Yeah, something is going to have to happen to make your piece right. But he didn't rest or take a break. He literally ran off to go resolve the problem that he knew he could fix, and he was excited to do so.
Yeah. He solved the people problem in the ship while everybody else was solving the technological problems.
It's so funny.
That's so cute.
And he refused to go off the ship so he could go do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish I could rewatch those scenes again so I could be like, oh, okay, yeah, I see that. But
it's so adorable, those moments.
He's so cute.
It's so well set up for that to be the case.
I mean, how is Wrecker not your favorite? I just don't understand. Like, he's so sweet.
I mean, Echo's my favorite. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Grumpy, mostly robot man. Of course he's going to be my favorite.
Oh, yeah. You do like the robots.
Yes.
Yep. We've now seen Omega hanging out next to Gonki. That's officially the Gonk droid's name.
That's his name?
That's his name.
What?
Gonki, according to the, guide that comes out afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Yep, Gonki. I like Gonki a lot.
I feel like that's the only reason the ship is not a stinky, smelly place whatsoever is because Gonki takes care of all of the manual labor on the ship.
Yep.
Like, what other services? What does a Gonk droid typically do other than barely walk around saying Gonk?
They carry power.
Carry power?
Yeah, they're like
they're
a portable power.
I guess they're also like garbage pickup as well then, right? So they like pick up heavy things
arms.
and move them. How do they carry power if they don't have arms?
They're like a power thing you plug stuff into.
Oh, they are power?
Yeah, they're like a walking battery.
Huh.
I think
most droids are walking batteries in some capacity.
No, they consume the power.
Okay.
Yeah, anyways. Yeah, Gonki, I liked her hanging out and like laying next to the Gonk droid and playing her game. And I was like,
I think at one point Hunter has his hand like affectionately on Gonki. I don't, you can't see it in podcast land, but I just totally rolled my eyes.
You don't like the name?
This name.
Needed a different name, maybe.
I just
could have had a better name.
Gonki. Like,
Chopper had an excellent name.
Droids typically have awesome names.
This feels like low effort.
Yes. Like Clone Force 99. All of the naming in this show is so off when it comes to Star Wars.
Yeah. I mean, Clone Force 99 was like based on history and things like that. Like 99, the defective clone that took care of the barracks back in Camino.
Right.
Yeah.
And yet they're still called Clone Force 99.
They named themselves after that clone.
Yes. They named themselves Clone Force. And then they were like, oh, we should also recognize 99 and then added 99 to it. Clone Force 99.
Yep.
Yeah, anyway, moving on.
Those decisions were made like 15 years ago.
Yes.
So no going back now.
I completely agree. Jango Fett is sitting there one day drinking special tea, and he's like, oh, there's these really, really great bubbles in this tea. I love these bubbles so much. They're the most important thing to me in the world. What are these bubbles called? And they're like, and they tell him, and he's like, I love them so much, I'm going to name my son after them.
My exact duplicate, but younger son. Yep. Boba.
T. Fett.
His middle name is T. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Boba T Fett.
Yeah.
Yep. I like it. Let's keep it. Okay, so Hunter and Omega go off. They get attacked by the beast. He loses his oxygen. She gives it back to him and is like, I've got to take control.
Yep. She's part of the squad, right?
Yep.
Leader goes down. You got to.
She had that like, I'm going with you. You got to respect this. And he's
like how
fine.
she took his gun.
Yeah, she took his gun.
Didn't use it.
Yeah, also good.
I thought also that we were going to get a revelation as to what is Omega's
deal.
Yeah, what is her, her
feel like that's
altered
larger
state?
I feel like that's like larger meta plot.
Exactly. She just enters the clone avatar state and has control of all the elements.
Her eyes start glowing.
Exactly.
And her hair starts glowing. I don't know.
She reaches out to all of the clones that came before her.
She controls any clone that's older than her.
Exactly. I feel like we're getting to that point, but yeah, I thought something might come, and it didn't, and it was just Omega showing us that Omega is willing to rise to the challenge,
and that was great. And I think that all of her skills are completely reasonable. People have been very like, Omega's a Mary Soup because sexism.
What did Omega do? Went down a hole.
No, before this, like last
thing.
Episode, because she was able to shoot somebody with a gun. And it's like, kid, she's trained, she's lived around people who are constantly at target practice. Like,
well, she'd never shot a gun before and she got lucky.
Yeah.
And I think she admitted to getting lucky.
And also being like, hey, maybe it's in my genetics. Haha.
Yeah.
And yeah, maybe it is.
Some people are just naturally a good shot, and that's fine. But then she didn't pull the trigger this episode.
Yeah.
She had the gun. It could have easily shot the creature, the Ordo moon dragon we all love.
It also doesn't matter to me whether she's good or not.
Fair.
It just needs to serve story purpose, and not shooting and not using the gun, but bringing the gun with her was a really excellent choice.
I agree. Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
Having the gun, knowing to take it, to be armed and defending yourself, but then knowing when to use it.
Yeah.
That's so much more important than using it.
Yeah, absolutely. Such a good choice.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then realizing I don't need this flashlight. I can use the flashlight because it's obviously hungry for power.
Yep.
Much like Palpatine.
And lives in the dark.
Yeah.
Surrounded by darkness.
Throw the flashlight to one side. Palpatine goes for it. you run out the other way.
See, why didn't Ray do that?
You run down a little hole, you climb up there, and wait for Bail Organa to come by, and you can fall in, and off you go.
This feels like a theme.
Yep.
Like a parallel here. No. I hope little Ordo Dragon is doing good. Ordo Moon Dragon is doing good.
I mean, they were on like some sort of asteroid too, so it was really like, is this creature from there?
No, maybe it was dropped off by accident, and it's kind of just consumes what it can find.
Whatever crashes on it. Well,
I mean, Star Wars is weird.
Good luck, Ordo Moon Dragon.
The Exogorph is the weirdest, lay in wait creature of existence.
So true. Sarlacc pits. Purgils.
We just can't question. A lot of people are like, oh, that's science in this episode. It's like, I don't care.
I have to tell you though, the weirder the alien creature gets, the more I like them.
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
Like I just named two of my favorite Star Wars alien creatures, Sarlacc pits and Purgils.
The Dianoga, the thing that lives in the garbage smasher. I love the Dianoga. With that little eye that's like, burp, burp.
Yeah. That's 2 days in a row I've heard the word Dianoga, and I had no idea that was what that creature was called.
Oh, really?
Exactly. I was like, what? Okay, that's something.
Well, now you know. The more you know. Woo, yeah.
I'll probably forget it immediately following this podcast.
Good.
Yep.
But that sort of resolves everything. Hunter learns new respect for Omega. They come back. She is accepted back into the crew with official, hey, she gets her own room.
Exactly.
And the rest of the clones are like, you get your own room?
Yep. Which was adorable.
It was so adorable. And it's like this
and a door.
Cool little thing.
A curtain. And
like squishy bed type thing.
Christmas lights.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And he put his stuffy in there.
Yeah.
For
Lulu.
her.
Yeah, it reminded me of when we upgraded our kids' beds and moved rooms and stuff like that. It totally reminded me of that, and I loved it. But to me, this is also tying into the sort of theme of the episode and the name of it, which is this comes a lot when I think about reincarnation stories and what those mean psychologically to us when we view them, and it's about creating a new space for yourself and becoming a new person. And this is what we're seeing the Bad Batch for the Bad Batch's part of this story come about. They are figuring out who they are post the Clone Wars, post being part of the Grand Army of the Republic. And I think it's being done in a very careful and loving way, which I love.
I don't know. I'll wait. See how it plays out.
I really love this episode. So
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm still like, meh.
But you told me you were like, I don't know why this thing is happening. And like, you're still coming along with it, which is good.
I'm here for the ride because it's still Star Wars. And I'm interested in what the greater story is going to be.
Absolutely. Yeah. So let's go back to Camino and talk about what's going on in Camino.
Goodness me, the other story.
Yeah. What did you think of Admiral Rampart?
Vice Admiral Rampart?
And then he got promoted at the end.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
If you want now. Because I feel like the Empire largely promotes people and demotes people
randomly
and just by saying it. Like it's a threat and like a surprise.
You have to submit so much data work to make that happen.
Like this is a formal thing that is in the works. He'd have to accept the promotion and
he would
be in
but
written form. And it's just he just is like
it's just
Admiral Rampart.
It's just a play on what Darth Vader did in Empire Strikes Back with promoting Piet when he was like just a dude, and then he's like, well, I've just killed your superiors. There you go, Admiral Piet. It's just a play on that.
Yeah, but that's not the only time that's happened.
Oh, I know. It's just yeah.
Okay, so he's Vice Admiral Rampart.
Rampart, yeah.
And he is responsible for the chain code because we saw him in the previous episode.
Yeah.
He's the guy in the hologram doing the big
here's the chain code.
He is voiced by Nashir Dalal, who I did not know before this. He hasn't done really much Star Wars stuff before this. He was in Hawaii 5-0 and a bunch of other voice acting things. He is a character in Cyberpunk, but there are so many characters in Cyberpunk, I could not point out which one he was.
It's like bartender number 4.
Cyberpunk has like 20,000 lines or more of dialogue.
Oh, it's very close to Hades.
Like, probably more than Hades.
No, Hades
the
is
whole
like
thing is voiced. It's
huge.
just insane.
Hades is huge for lines of dialogue. Anyways, side tangent. Sorry.
So he's growing and building his resume as a voice actor and live action actor. Live action actor and actor
on the screen with the movie.
His face in front of people. Yes, that sort of act. And he's really. I really loved hating this guy. Like as soon as we saw him, I was like, I hate his nose. I hate his life. I hate everything about him. Immediately.
I was like, this guy is weirdly loyal to the Empire already. That's so weird. I just feel like people should be more insecure about it. But I guess Palpatine was really good with the propaganda early on. So
this guy's a ground floor empiricist.
Imperial. They're called Imperials.
Sure.
Yeah.
He is. Mm-hmm. He's like, I'm getting in on the ground floor.
Look, I can make a space for myself. There's only a small chance of being choked by a Dark Lord.
Well, that chance just grew exponentially by being raised to Admiral.
Right, yeah, because it means that you might be in the room with him eventually.
Also, who is this guy? He gets to come up with the chain codes, and then he's also responsible for the like voluntary and willing enlistment of people into the army. Like, those are very different roles and different departments and different things. And yet he's there, the one on now on Kamino, reporting to Tarkin with his own crazy concept.
Yeah. The delineation of responsibility in the new Empire is a little weird. And scope of roles has increased dramatically.
Apparently. That's very true. Anyway, this guy...
Bureaucracy doesn't work this way.
This isn't foreshadowing or a guess on my part. This guy is going to be majorly important for the rest of this season, if not longer.
I mean, why introduce him in episode 3 if you weren't going to have him be important?
I mean, he could have easily been there, gone character. Do you know why I know that to be the case?
Tell me.
Because there's a Black Series figurine of him already out.
What?
That's right. He already has a full action figure and it is hitting the shelves soon. Like they had this in the docket, in play. I think we're looking at, when Tarkin leaves, the big bad for the Bad Batch.
Okay. So not that I don't agree with you, because I do, because toy spoilers are often a thing.
This is a big thing.
However, for every single episode of The Mandalorian, there was a Funko Pop released.
That's true.
So I don't know.
I think that he is super relevant because they haven't released much else for this, and it's not a Funko Pop. It's their Black Series.
Yeah, that's significant.
Figurines.
They haven't even released like a Ben Solo Black Series, so
here we go. We get Admiral Rampart, and he's named Admiral Rampart, like
on the Black Series.
Black Series box.
That's funny.
So he is going to be important, and so the things he says.
So he's like our Tarkin surrogate, right?
Yes.
Okay.
He's going to be our. I wanted to, who's the guy that had in Rebels who starts out as a bad guy, then becomes Fulcrum and grows a nice beard?
Oh, Callus.
I hope he's more like a Callus than he is a Tarkin.
Yeah, fair. I mean, we already have hot Callus. I don't know if we can handle hot Rampart.
I don't know. I mean, you have to slow down to get on your exit Rampart anyway, so. So the things he says in this episode as we meet him are going to be extremely relevant because we're going to get his perspective on things.
Yes.
Right? Where does he come from and why does he think this way?
And he's going to be the one that's driving like, hey, the clone usage and the volunteer usage. I really liked that we got to see underneath the masks for a lot of this episode for the volunteers. And even Crosshair as well. Like they weren't wearing their helmets, which is it's a thing even with the Clone Wars, and then later on with the Stormtroopers. It was interesting, and it was like what they were wearing was almost like a hybrid between the clones and the Stormtroopers. Eventually,
so we've got a bunch of politics happening on Kamino.
Yeah,
we have the Kaminoans, the Prime Minister and Nalase are both
like, oh no.
Like, I get their economic and also livelihoods and lives connection to this, because when they choose to shut down the Kaminoan clone works,
they're going to be shutting down.
They'll just shut down all of Kamino.
Yeah.
Like,
I liked that the Prime Minister said exactly what we said in the first episode, which was, volunteers will suck. We've been raising these like clones since the beginning. I had people fight me on the internet about what I said, that I don't agree with you that volunteer people won't be as good as clones. I'm like, okay.
Volunteer people will be as good. So that's not the question. Will be
better.
That's not the question here.
No.
It's that clones take less time to be bad, to be that level of good, to cross the bar of success.
And they're also coordinated and chipped.
They're also correct. So like, they come from great genetic stock.
Yeah.
Willing enlistment will not necessarily be great genetic stock.
You're going to have
of people who are
different
physically capable
abilities and different body types and all that sort of stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then the clones are raised to be physically fit and to do the things that are expected of them as troopers.
Yes.
Which you're not getting from willing enlistment. And then you have to put them through boot camp, so you're paying for that. So we just to balance the cost paradigm, to get a clone trooper to be, battle ready is X. And that is when Tarkin is saying that is higher than our willing enlistment people, because we just pick them up off the street, give them a gun, and now they're in the battle. But they're definitely not at the same level of skill set as a clone trooper. I know. They're not as controllable.
I know. But I do like this hybrid model by which they like amp up the chip in the clones, and the clones are like, I'll be your commander, or I'll be the person that's keeping you volunteers in line. I like this model from a purely evil bureaucracy perspective.
Absolutely.
It's brilliant.
Absolutely.
Because also the clones can instill all of the level of, bureaucracy and red tape and, checking of things and codes and things like that. And we've seen that in Rebels, that they basically maintained all of the codes that Cody and Rex had created. So that's why these things exist, is because the clones were instrumental in creating this level. But I also think that because of this and how it all plays out throughout the episode, that you're completely right, that there's going to be some sort of like, breakout of the clones eventually, because they're going to get more and more integrated and trapped. And so there's going to have to be a way to reduce them or take them out. And either the Empire is eventually just going to be like, meh, we don't want them anymore, and they're going to save them, or it'll be an active thing that the Bad Batch decides to do.
Tarkin's an idiot.
I agree.
Like, Tarkin's an idiot. He doesn't believe that there's any way that the Death Star can be destroyed.
Yeah.
And he dies.
Yes. He dies for his failure. And
because Tarkin always, he's very good at cost analysis. This costs more than this.
Oh, yeah.
So therefore,
he's an accountant.
But because I'm a relationship manager, right? And for my job, I have to balance things.
Yes.
So you're always looking at cost benefit analysis. Something may cost more, but it brings you all of these other benefits that come with it that are not necessarily applicable to the thing that cost less. That means the thing that cost more is actually more valuable and probably better to get if you've done your cost benefit analysis correctly. Tarkin has just done a cost analysis.
Yes.
And he doesn't seem to give two shakes about the benefits.
Yes.
Rampart.
Can you feel the difference in the army? That's always like, ever since we went bed shopping that one time. We went bed shopping this one time.
This bed is $800 and this bed is $2,000.
Yes. Can you feel the difference in the $2,000 bed? Maybe not.
No, my 19-year-old body is strong and sound and very light of weight.
And it was fine until you were 35, and then you're like, nope.
Yep.
I can feel the
difference.
benefits. I can feel the difference in the $2,000 bed. Yes. I can feel the difference in the clone army. It is very weird. I do like that Rampart sees the benefits of the clones, though.
Right. We'll see.
Well, yeah,
because he still talks about the greater loyalty from willing enlistment.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, that wasn't true anyway, because it was completely disproven once Crosshair took his team to Saw Gerrera's planet.
Absolutely.
That was immediately wiped out. But then on top of that, he's talking about the loyalty from willing enlistment being greater than that of the clones, which just goes back to speak to the point that you made about my point from last episode, that the clones' loyalty is questionable. The clones' loyalty is a chipped loyalty, right?
Right. Everybody's loyalty is questionable.
Unless you're a willing enlistment.
Yeah. You can be disillusioned, though. I really like that the lead into the stuff that we see at Camino was Omega finding something of Crosshairs, and that was a really solid emotional transition with, being like, well, okay, I guess this is Crosshair's story. Yeah.
And then they went back to the bunks, and they made a very clear showing to us that Crosshair is still in his bunk from before, but it doesn't look anything like it did before.
Yeah.
And you might even think that this room is not the same, but oh wait, there's the scratches they made very careful
there's the skull on the wall. Yeah.
They did a really good job of showing us have Wrecker carve those scratches into the wall of the successful missions. And then they play that back to us to say, Crosshair's in the room, and it is very different. It is cleaned. It is tidied. It is exactly as a normal bunk would be for proper officers.
Absolutely. And then we get the whole play out of the mission, the test mission, where they're going and chasing Saw Gerrera.
Tarkin really hates Saw Gerrera, hey? Like, you know what? We failed before. Go do it again.
Like, seriously, get rid of that guy. I mean, there's some illusion that Tarkin is actually gay, so...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They used to date. Gerrera broke his heart.
Yeah.
Tarkin will never forgive him.
That's better motivation than what we had this episode. Which is like, they probably are gone, guys. Oh, they're not quite gone. There was still some civilians or whatever on Onderon in that camp, so...
Wow.
Yeah.
Show took a turn for the dark there.
I know. Hey, it's time for death count.
Yeah.
Death count.
12.
What? 12?
12 of them, and 4 were definitively non-armed civilians. Killed by willing enlistment people. 11 of them were the insurgents, right?
Right,
we got
yeah.
Plus the 4. So we got 7... Maybe 7 of them were armed people. They were really just trying to escape.
Yeah.
So, a couple of them shot back. Ooh, I guess they deserve death. And then Dick on a ship. I did not see that coming. Did you?
No.
Because I literally wrote down the scene when they come back to it is Dick on a ship, because he was such a jerk.
Yeah.
Overall, like, I'm going to be the best. You clones are dum-dums. Like, wow.
Yeah, I think he was just trying to be like, hey, what's the right thing to do in this situation? And yes, we are doing the right thing. And like, yeah, I would totally agree with this guy.
On the ship?
No.
Oh, down on the planet.
Yeah, down on the planet. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was like, it was a complete turnabout. I was not expecting that because he was so arrogant.
He felt himself to be the next leader, obviously. He's like, let's just like ignore this clone. And the clone is like, no, I'm going to kill you.
But only when he refused to follow orders.
Absolutely.
He's like, this isn't part of the mission. Oh, okay. You don't understand. This is always part of the mission.
Because now he's like robotic and, good soldiers follow orders.
I always got the impression from Crosshairs in Clone Wars that he just wanted to kill everybody anyway.
Yeah.
Like he wants everyone in his target hairs.
Yeah.
He would prefer to pull the trigger on everyone.
It's about like, yeah, completing that. I'm wondering what he's going to be like sans Chip.
Yeah, well, is it the case that the inhibitor chip was inhibiting him from just killing everyone? And
I don't know.
Because he was sure quick to kill that guy.
Yeah.
Dick on a ship. I don't know if he even got a name, but that's his name now. I'm just going to call him.
No, he was certainly the thing that was like challenging. And then everyone was also like, okay, crazy clone. Okay, cool.
I wanted to know which of them handled which weapons because I want to know who flamethrower person is. And is that the girl or was she one of the others? Like we didn't get to see any of that. I want to know they all have different weapons. And
yeah, but they all had the same helmets when they were on the planet. Yeah.
And then we don't get to see their reaction when they have to march forward and kill those poor 4. Why is there always a Twi'lek innocent person who's part of that?
They're always in the wrong place at the wrong time.
It's just so disappointing.
I mean,
it's always a Twi'lek.
It's
never a Gamorrean.
No. Gamorreans are being used elsewhere to guard things.
It's never a Cerulean.
Panterran. No,
Yes.
it's always
A Twi'lek.
a Twi'lek, yeah. I mean, they're very recognizable.
Fair.
Yeah. You bring up good points. Yes.
And then we get back and the Kaminoans reveal the big thing for us at the very end.
Yeah.
That even though they've lost Omega and the other 3, they still have Crosshair.
Yes.
And Jango Fett's genetic material is degrading because that probably happens
and
over
so
time.
they have to clone Crosshair to make the super clone.
I guess, or Crosshair's genetic information will be relevant to whatever their next project is supposed to be.
Like super sniper.
Or is it combining his genetics with somebody else's genes to get
making little babies? Let's make babies. No? Okay. I don't know.
I always want to like the Kaminoans because they seem so fragile and they're so smart. But at the same time, like they're like, let's play God.
Yeah, I mean, and also they're only driven by money. So
yes,
it's like capitalism. Yes.
Well, I do understand that money drives their
economy.
Science.
Yeah.
And
And without like the science aspect of it, they're just like the fishermen that like are on the little like flying fishy things that fly across the ocean that you see.
They're like any other university. They're always the deans and the teachers. They're always applying for grants because they know that once the grant money dries up, they won't have a job anymore.
Fair.
So they recognize the need for capital in order to continue their scientific endeavors. But at the same time, like
they're still trying to make themselves relevant. It's fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also like, what can we do next?
Yeah. I still think that they might try and, obtain Clone Force 99. Like they might find, that's going to be part of it. They need more conflict in this show than they currently have.
But they're going to want to protect Crosshair.
Yes.
Because he's super important and he's the only one they have.
Yes.
So there's lots of places that this show can go now because the whole entire galactic space is black before us. And
we don't even know what really happens until, kind of Solo. When Solo kicks off, that's kind of the next time. There's definitely going to be stuff that's filled in with like Kenobi as it's starting filming, which is really exciting. But yeah, there's a lot of places it can go.
Well, there's a lot of places Clone Force 99 can go.
Yeah.
And also where and what's going to happen on Kamino and how are the politics going to play out. And
it's fun stuff. I like politics, so it's good.
I'm shocked. I was a little bit shocked that the Kaminoan plot is more interesting and engaging than the Clone Force 99 stuff.
Yeah. I'm endeared by it, certainly, but I like politics and so that's what's drawing my interest as well. But overall, I really did enjoy this episode.
Yeah. So how would you rate it overall? Where were you at?
And in our sad batch versus bad batch.
Yeah, sad batch, bad batch.
I'm gonna call this a pad batch because Omega got her own patch.
Nice.
Or her own Omega got her own
similar.
Omega got her own pad.
Nice.
Yeah.
I did almost the exact same thing as you, but I fit it even better. It's called Bed Batch.
That doesn't rhyme.
Yeah, it's near rhyme. It's perfect.
Fine.
You changed one letter. I changed one letter.
Fine. Fine.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
we were thinking the same thing.
Pad Batch.
Pad badge. She's got her own pad.
I like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Could also, talk about Crosshair's change to his pad too.
Right. Yeah.
That's double meaning. Yeah.
They both go to bed at the end of the episode.
Yep. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to next week. That's all I have to say about that.
I am too. Yeah. 3 episodes in, and it feels like it's getting its legs for me.
Well, I mean, it's 5 episodes in because the first episode is 3 episodes.
3 episodes long, yes.
So we're sitting there already at the 2-hour mark of a movie.
Yes.
So I think that we're going to see the next arc begin. We know where everyone is. They're already in their place. And if this is going to continue in this vein and we get like 13 episodes or so, then we are now into the second act, rising action.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. That is everything from us for this week. Kyle, where can people find you if they're looking for you online?
You can find me most Fridays on the Flight Risk podcast. It is an actual play set in the Star Wars universe where I play the Twi'lek Skip Fortuna, who also is always in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Has yet to be killed, though.
And has yet to be killed. No doubt because of me constantly niggling at details and resolving things and putting the poor game master in the most precarious of situations, like because he doesn't want to kill me, but I keep putting myself in the position to be killed. So we'll see what happens.
You play a Twi'lek.
As I do.
Yeah. And you also sing on the podcast too.
Yes.
Wow.
You will hear my Twi'lek lounge singer voice.
Talents.
Come out on the regular. That podcast is now 3 years old and deserves some love. So go out there and
quite
give it a
good
listen.
from an actual play Star Wars perspective. So if you're looking for an adventure that is set far, far, far in the past, go check it out.
So far in the past. But what's great about it, though, is that it has full sound effects. There's music in the background for a lot of it. And whenever the game master has to do an NPC, he actually does the voice himself. But then in postscript, he brings on another voice actor to do the character and bring that character to life.
It's more like
in
an
ways that
audio drama.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
Fully exciting, crazy hijink adventures where myself and my friend Velvet, Joe, and Nimoy constantly bring uproariously silly adventures.
I will link
every
to
week.
it in the liner notes.
Thanks for that moment, Marie-Claire.
And then you can check it out if you're looking for something to tackle that feels super Star Wars, because it is Star Wars. It's the Star Wars RPG. And is a new adventure with Kyle being a wild man.
He is like no one else.
Skip is...
The closest I could ever come to thinking about Skip is Lorne from Angel.
Oh, interesting.
Okay,
the first season,
does the karaoke and he's in a lot of other seasons. He's around. He's a secondary character, and he's just fully crazy and weird.
I thought he died.
No, he dies later on. I believe
he died in the first season.
I don't think so.
I don't remember.
Hey, if you're out there listening and you know when Lauren passes away, much like I asked what a scompin is,
everybody told
free.
You that.
I got that so many times.
They're like, Kyle, I don't know if you've heard
scomp
this.
Is blah, blah, blah. Now, thank you for that to the people who passed that on to me. I appreciate you for listening.
Yes, we did get lots of feedback on this episode.
When Lauren gets taken out, let me know.
I think it's the first episode. I think he kisses...
the first episode?
No, first season, sorry.
I think he goes longer.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's go watch Angel second season and see if Lauren's in it, and then we'll watch the replacements again. Other
than that, people can find you at Tavern Tales DM on Twitter.
They sure can.
If they want to hear you tweeting about very random stuff at 3 a.m.
Yes.
That's all you got going on. And of course, I'm at Marie C. Gould on Twitter. Thank you for listening, and thanks for coming along on this Bad Batch report journey with us.
Yes.
Take
Over
care.
And out.
Take care. Bye. Thank you for listening to What the Force. I'm Marie-Claire Gould, your host. Our music is orchestral music by Christy Carew for What the Force. We have a Patreon at patreon.com/whattheforce. We like to thank all our patrons, especially those who love and are obsessed with What the Force. Brad, Cheryl Bell, Melody, Night Huntress in Wild Space, Felicia, How Rude, Anna Perez, Macau Mom, Neil, James, Joe Allen D, Christian Luca, Josh Johnson, Scott C, Susan, and Adam Dyson. Make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube or leave a 5-star review on iTunes or other pod apps. It helps people find the show. Check out our other channel on YouTube or other podcast feeds, What the Fiction. You can connect with us on Twitter at WT Force Show, What the Force Podcast on Facebook, or our website, whattheforce.ca, or on our Discord. Links are in the liner notes. Feel free to reach out and start a conversation. Cheers.